67 years after her death in a Nazi concentration camp, Anne Frank, one of the most famous Jewish victims of the Holocaust, returns to her hometown, Frankfurt, for the first performance ever in Germany of Annelies, a musical based not only in the story of Anne Frank, but on her diary text.
There are very few lines at all that are not from her actual diary. We hear also the moment where she is dreaming and says, her friend, "Why, Anne, have you forsaken me?" That is part of actually the passion.
Anne Frank was born in Frankfurt on June 12, 1929. In accompanying the performance of Annelies, there is an exhibition of documents and photographs related to Anne Frank and Jewish life in Frankfurt, for centuries recognized as the most Jewish city in Germany. And as its curator, Michael Lenarz, explains, the Jewish Museum of Frankfurt covers the history and culture of the Jewish communities from the 12th to the 20th centuries. The Jewish community of Frankfurt was one of the most important in Germany in the 16th century. A Talmudic Academy had been established where the Halakhic Rabbis taught. Additionally, Halachic works were printed in the Ghetto. 800 years of Jewish presence in Germany came to a tragic end in 1933, when the Nazi dictatorship unleashed its brutal persecution of Jewish people, life, and culture. In 2012 in Germany, we are witnessing a revival of the Jewish community, as shown by the popularity of the musical Annelies. Annelies is the spring concert 2012 of the German-American Community Choir, founded in 1973 by the U.S. military in Frankfurt with the aim of strengthening and deepening international relations via a common love of music. The choir currently has approximately 180 active members, including Germans, Americans, and members of several other nations. You know, I'm wondering, what is the significance of the fact that Anne Frank died in a concentration camp 67 years ago? What does that mean to the people in Frankfurt?
It's still part of the German history, which we cannot and which we won't ignore, which still have a place in our hearts and in our minds and in the community. So therefore it was a really nice experience to do this piece.
Although there's nothing in Annelies taken from Jewish music, there is a Jewish influence that permeates the musical score.
I think that the elements that are Jewish come from a very old melody. It's the form, the Steiger melody, where a certain degree of the scale is changed, is used in a lot of the music that what we consider Jewish music, more out of the well, that was German, the Sephardic more than the Ashkenazic, but it's actually this melos, what we often think of as, why does the music sound so sad, even though the Jews are singing about happy things? That is often an aspect of this melodic formula.
The unforgettable message of the musical Annelies is that it respects the message of tolerance within the tragedy, which Anne Frank wanted to keep alive in her diary. This is Wilson Ruiz for Jewish News One in Frankfurt.